Nature is a magnificent power that can wreak immense havoc. Witness the incredible might of Mother Nature, ranging from enormous tsunamis that engulf entire coastlines to fierce volcanoes that erupt molten lava. Hurricanes and other extreme storms have the power to destroy everything in their path. But among all these amazing exhibits, one power outshines the rest: earthquakes. The ground beneath our feet has the power to tremble and wobble with such ferocity that it can overtake even the most powerful natural disasters in a matter of seconds. Recently, entire towns have been reduced to piles of debris after only a few minutes of extremely strong earthquakes. It was Turkey's largest earthquake in almost a century. The complete amount of the devastation is still being calculated several weeks later. Over a broad area of hundreds of miles, the calamity generated two large breaches in the Earth's surface, where the ground parted up to 7 meters in opposite directions. A fracture arising from the 7.8 magnitude earthquake reaches 300 kilometers, 190 miles, from the Mediterranean Sea's northeasternmost point. A few hours later, after a considerably weaker 7.5 magnitude earthquake, the second fracture, which was 125 kilometers, 80 miles, long, surfaced. Furthermore, the devastated area has experienced over 4,300 aftershocks since the earthquakes, adding to the difficulty of the rescue effort. The Turkish Disaster Administration reports that over 40,000 people have died in the nation, and that figure is expected to rise further because an estimated 345,000 apartments have been demolished and many more people are still missing. Furthermore, Syria reports that over 5,800 people have died. In Turkey, at least 80,000 injured people are being treated in hospitals, as almost 1 million people live in makeshift tents and shelters. Furthermore, up to 5 million Syrians may lose their homes, with a significant portion of the population already internally displaced as a result of the ongoing civil conflict. Why were these earthquakes so devastating, and will there be any future large-scale tremors? Could your home be the target of the next big one? Logo: think of the Earth's crust as a massive jigsaw puzzle with shifting tectonic plates in place of the cardboard parts. These plates produce a tremendous amount of energy below the surface as they slide past one another, clash, or move in various ways. Seismic waves, which can have catastrophic repercussions on the surface, are released when the stored energy exceeds the strength of the surrounding rock. Furthermore, it may take years, or even decades, for this stored energy to be released. According to some analysts, the energy unleashed by the major earthquake that struck Turkey some 300 to 500 years ago has been building up. Two exceptionally lengthy fissures that cut through communities and buildings were produced when the energy from the two strong earthquakes was released. The convergence of the tectonic plates of Africa, Arabia, and Anatolia is responsible for the frequent and strong earthquakes that occur in this region north of Cyprus. With two significant earthquakes occurring in a matter of hours and an unparalleled fault length, the most recent quakes were exceptionally violent. Experts observed that the earthquakes propagated devastatingly across a large area due to the fault line's modest depth of about 18 kilometers, 11 miles. Fascinatingly, a few days prior to the catastrophic earthquake, a Dutch researcher made this prediction. On February 3rd, the researcher tweeted, "Sooner or later there will be a M7.5 earthquake in this region, south-central Turkey, Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, announcing the high likelihood of an earthquake in that particular area." Even yet, it wasn't the most severe and potent earthquake ever recorded. This title refers to the May 22, 1960, earthquake off the coast of Chile that was also known as the Valdivia earthquake or the Great Chilean Earthquake. With a magnitude of 9.5, it was the biggest earthquake that seismographs had ever recorded. The earthquake struck an area of more than 400,000 square kilometers, 155,000 square miles, causing enormous damage in the form of landslides, tsunamis, and fires. An estimated 5,000 individuals had lost their lives, and the economy suffered greatly. Fortunately, the physical constraints of the Earth's crust make an earthquake larger than a magnitude 10 almost unfeasible. For a fault to suddenly rupture, it would need to be tens of kilometers deep and hundreds or thousands of kilometers long. It would have the same energy as many billion atomic bombs. In the event that such an earthquake occurred, it would likely result in a global environmental disaster and cause extensive damage, landslides, and volcanic eruptions. In addition, the strength of the earthquake may cause irreversible changes to the tectonic plates or the formation of new mountains, which would set off a series of subsequent earthquakes and other natural calamities. However, what if there were some outside variables at work? According to recent research, an enormous asteroid measuring 10 kilometers, 6 miles, in width that struck Earth 66 million years ago and wiped out the dinosaurs caused an earthquake that lasted for weeks or even months. This earthquake had seismic energy 50,000 times greater than the Sumatra earthquake of 2004, magnitude 9.1 to 9.3. The earthquake caused by the collision of the asteroid was more than 11 on the seismic scale. Apart from that, the asteroid created a tremendously strong worldwide tsunami. According to a study, the impact-caused tsunami exhibited an energy level up to 30,000 times greater than the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami, which was among the most important ones documented in contemporary history. According to computer simulations, when the Chicxulub tsunami approached most of the North Atlantic and South Pacific coastlines, it produced waves that were over 10 meters, 33 feet, high with flow velocities that were above 1 meter per second. Scientists claim that a hypothetical earthquake of magnitude 15 would be too strong for the Earth's crust to survive. The planet would completely collapse, leaving only dust and debris to float into space. Even though the 10-kilometer-wide asteroid's impact caused a substantial earthquake, the unimaginable devastation that a larger asteroid may cause is inconceivable. The opening of the fault, which was thought to be unthinkable until recently, is another terrifying but far more likely event. Computer simulations have also been designed with this restriction in mind. However, new studies have revealed that earthquakes have the power to divide the Earth in two and then bring it back together. Imagine that as the plates collide, the ground will twist and rotate, creating a gap that will soon close again. Researchers have discovered that when a thrust fault bursts quickly and advances toward the surface of the Earth, one side of the fault may rotate away from the other, leaving a few meter gap. The amount of movement depends on the amount of tension that has built up along the fault, which can vary from a few millimeters to several meters. After that, the gap rapidly closes. According to academics, this is what transpired during the magnitude 9.0 Tohoku-oki earthquake. They believed that when it spread up the fault, it caused a short twisting away of one rock slab from the other. After that, the two rock slabs snapped shut once more, causing the fault to slip over 50 meters, 160 feet. From the highest peaks of the Himalayan mountains to the lowest valleys of the Dead Sea, as well as in the icy areas of Antarctica, earthquakes are a universal phenomenon. Even though earthquakes can strike anywhere, their distribution doesn't seem to be entirely random. Is there a possibility that your place of residence may experience a similar earthquake to the one that struck Turkey? The Circum-Pacific Belt, sometimes referred to as the Ring of Fire, is the area surrounding the Pacific Ocean where many tectonic plates converge. The interactions between these plates result in frequent volcanic eruptions and earthquakes. Approximately 75% of the world's active and dormant volcanoes, as well as 90% of its earthquakes, some of the strongest ever recorded, originate from this region. There is a risk of potentially devastating earthquakes in several areas within the Ring of Fire, such as the Pacific Northwest, Japan, and New Zealand, according to recent reports. Although the actual date and magnitude of these huge earthquakes remain unknown, specialists can estimate the approximate average period between these events, which varies from region to region. As we have seen in the past, these natural calamities have devastating potential effects. However, there are other locations on Earth where strong earthquakes can occur. For a very long time, California has been overdue for a massive earthquake. On the San Andreas fault line, a great deal of tension is probably accumulating. California is split in two by the enormous San Andreas Fault, which stretches 1,300 kilometers, 800 miles, through the state. It is created by the gradual grinding motion of two tectonic plates against one another. The plates are frequently locked together in the fault's southern and northern regions, which causes a great deal of stress. Furthermore, since some of the fault sections haven't ruptured in more than 200 years, the stress buildup should ultimately reach a breaking point and cause powerful earthquakes to release the stored energy. There is already a history of earthquakes along the San Andreas Fault that begin near its surface and continue along its path. Two of the most famous ones were the Loma Prieta earthquake in 1989, which measured 6.9 on the Richter scale, and the San Francisco Bay earthquake in 1906, which had a magnitude of 7.8. However, experts caution that this does not mean the fault has released all of its stored stress and that there is still a high risk of a large earthquake in the future. The U.S. Geological Survey estimates that there is a good chance that certain areas along the fault will see an earthquake of magnitude 6.7 in the next 30 years. However, it may even be as big as an 8.2 earthquake. A possibly devastating earthquake that might rock the Pacific Northwest and cause the worst natural disaster in the history of North America is another possibility. Experts have labeled this event as likely. Over 7 million people in a wide area covering 370,000 square kilometers, 140,000 square miles, might be affected by the earthquake. Experts estimate that the earthquake may have a magnitude of 8.7 to 9.2, which is a level of seismic activity that could cause enormous harm and devastation. Understanding the science underlying these earth-shattering occurrences is more crucial than ever as the threat of potentially catastrophic earthquakes rises. We really hope you enjoyed reading about the amazing scientific theories that underlie earthquakes and how they might affect the Earth. I appreciate you seeing. Please share your opinions and comments in the space provided below. If you felt this material was interesting, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel to receive future seismic content. We have a ton of incredible content in store for you.